was the trip leader for Dominican Republic last spring break, and I was sitting where you're sitting now about a year ago, listening to someone else tell me about how AB changed their life. And it did change my life, but I'm not going to stand here and tell you how it can change yours, because honestly, AB is a very personal journey, so I can't speak to your experience. What I can do is share with you my own. So, we all departed, as many of you soon will, on this trip with high expectations and really passionate about the change that we were about to make in the DR. So this is our backyard in the Dominican Republic. We went to Cabarete, which is like this really nice tourist town with like 5-star hotels and stuff like that. A place you would never expect poverty to live. So we actually worked in a place called Barrio Blanco. And this is me, my staff advisor, and my co-trip leader, walking through the entrance of Barrio Blanco, which is about a quarter-mile long and had two walls on either side. So in order to get into the neighborhood, you had to walk through this entrance. And this is Blanco, the man who founded and basically maintained the welfare of the neighborhood. He was the patriarch of the community. And so he was really excited for us to come there, but he was also really wary of our intentions in being in his community. So the entire time we were there, he was he kept his eye very closely on us. So the first day we got there, we met our community partner, we got a tour of the entire community in which we would be working in, very basic stuff. And the 3 projects we were working on were beautifying the actual entrance to the neighborhood. So we painted the wall, we taught school children, and the 3rd project we worked on was creating these mobile trash cans, which is the project that I spent most of my time on. So you had 2 options for trash removal in Barrio Blanco. You could either carry these really heavy oil drum cans like this blue one you see here, which are about 50-60 pounds without trash in them, to the garbage truck, which would only stop in the beginning of the neighborhood. So you're talking about carrying this 50-60 pound object about a quarter mile to actually throw your trash away. Or the second option is that you just throw it in front of your house, which is actually what most of the people did. Now the problem with that is a lot of this trash started seeping into the pond directly behind the barrio, which started causing a lot of health conditions for the residents there. So we saw a huge need there. We realized that they need a way for trash to be removed very simply and mobily, where even small children could pull the trash to the garbage can. So my co-trip leader and I decided to use the design thinking process, which is a method for applying innovation to everyday opportunities. And we thought this would be a really great way to expand our impact, our social impact in the DR. This is something new we tried, but we were really excited to start it out. So these are the materials that the community members gave us. They gave us 8 oil drum cans, which were super grimy and everything, but they had no use for them. So we're like, all right, we'll take them off your hands and see if we can build anything with it of value. So while we were there, we designed and found the right materials in order to create these mobile trash can units. And what we came to was this prototype. So this was our first prototype of what we thought would work in the actual community. By no means, as you can see, is it pretty, and actually it didn't work that well either. But what it did teach us was the difficulties we had to overcome in order to make it a sustainable solution for the people of Barrio Blanco. For example, we had to overcome the rocky road, which was really difficult to push the can over. I also had to create a handle for it, because nobody wanted to push this thing, they wanted to pull it. So it quickly taught us what we needed to do. One day as we were painting the wall, Blanco came out of his house and he was livid. He took the paintbrushes out of our hands and he said, "How are you going to paint Turk logos and Testudo on our wall? This is my community. This is Barrio Blanco. You guys are just here for a week. I have to live here every day." And while we had the full intention of actually painting Barrio Blanco on the wall, it made us think about something. And in reflection, we thought about it. We thought we hadn't actually consulted anyone in the community the entire time. We assumed that our community partners had done that. But we hadn't talked to anyone to see if what we were doing is actually something that they wanted. And so as a group, that reflection that night, we decided that everything we went to and did the rest of the trip, we would have to consult community members to see if this is something they actually want and would use. So the last working day, we taught people in the morning, and then we started doing the garbage can at 11 a.m. So we had to finish these 8 garbage cans by the end of the day, because it was our last working day. So we kind of started this conveyor belt Some people painted, some people assembled the wheels, and some people welded the handles on. We were supposed to leave around 4 o'clock, but by 4 o'clock, nothing had really been accomplished. And we couldn't leave like Barrio Blanco this way. So by dusk, we kept working. And in fact, more people started helping us. People started coming out of their houses, little kids started helping us, and even these guys who were running this local hardware store stopped their business to help us with the project. By dusk, there was about 25 people working on this project. And it was AV participants and community members working hand in hand to actually create these mobile trash can units. People were working together who couldn't even speak the same language, but they were getting something done together. This was our finished product. We finally finished 8 garbage cans by 8 o'clock that night. Super tired, we were all sleep deprived, and a lot of us were getting sick, but we didn't care. We finally finished that night. And as a result of this, everybody at the end was in complete ecstasy of what we had accomplished, both community members and AV participants. The community members were so excited about the work we did, they actually invited us back the last day we were in the DR for a celebratory dinner. So the next day we came back, and it was nighttime, so they didn't have lights coming into the entrance. As we were walking into the entrance for the last time at night, we started hearing these footsteps, and they grew louder. And then we heard thud, thud, thud. And then we heard these screams. And then I realized it was the little kids who had run to greet us from the actual school and hold our hands to take us to the celebration. When we got inside the school, we saw all of the community members who had worked with us the entire week, the school children, and even the guys from the hardware store who had come out to tell us on a Saturday night that they really appreciated what we did for their community. That these people we had never known 5 days prior said that they would never forget us in their lives. And that the community thanks us. It was such a tremendous moment for all of us. I couldn't tell you of all the emotions that were running through us during that time. It was incredible for people to tell us that we had changed their lives. But I noticed that Blanco wasn't there. So I wanted to see the garbage cans one last time before we left. So I turned the corner to go see the garbage cans, and I saw Blanco sitting there in the dark. And I looked over to where the trash cans were supposed to be, and they were all gone. In my broken Spanish, I asked Blanco, "Where are the trash cans?" And he said, "They're already being put to use. You guys did a good job." And that was a moment of real impact for me. Not even within 24 hours of the point when we finished our product, these people had already put it to use to solve the social issue we had come to solve. That moment changed my life. Now, if there are 2 takeaways you have from my experience, it's that we tried something new in using design thinking. And while you may not use design thinking, try something new. If you try the basic methods of applying change, you'll get basic results. So don't be afraid to try something new in your trip, and bring all of your skills, participants, ELs, bring all of your skills together, because you'll never know what you can accomplish all together. And the last thing is, don't just be the hands of change. You need to be the eyes and ears. Because we can't just make change. We have to see it and allow us to make it a sustainable and effective change. Thank you.